The reason I've chosen to raise money for this charity is because I, myself have FND, and I I want to tell my story about how I got that, because the exact cause of it is unknown. However, you can be diagnosed and develop it at any point. Anybody can develop FND at any point throughout their life, but it is widely unknown. And only about 50 to 100,000 people in the UK have it, but it's very understudied thing. Now, when I first developed FND back in 2021, when I was at my first university, and as many of you know, I'm in university right now, but I'm in my second university now. I had to drop out of my first university because I developed FND. Now, unfortunately, I had a particularly stressful time at my university. I had a bad accommodation situation. I literally had to move out because it got a bit too extreme with my housemates. I didn't feel safe in there anymore and everything like that. It was a mixture of like just I was just stressed. I was just stressed, and did end up moving into new accommodation. However, unfortunately, I started noticing very slightly, like my vision would rock back and forth. And what I discovered was that my head was ever so gently rocking back and forth. The head thing had been going on for a little while because it was every now and then. And then I made an appointment with my doctor. And then on the day of the appointment, I started stuttering. And I am not a stutterer. As you guys can tell, I'm quite a yapper. I am not a stutterer. But on this day, it was literally overnight, like at the snap of a finger. Overnight, I developed a stutter, and a really bad one at that. It was quite scary because I lived 5 hours away from where my parents lived. So I went to the doctor and I had the stutter. And they said, well, we can talk to the neurologist and I'll get back to you. That's what I got told. They said I can go and talk to the neurologist and I'll get back to you. So I was like, okay, thanks for that. And I went off because they were like, oh well, I don't really know. And so I go away and then I get a call. I think it's later in the day or maybe the next day. And they basically said, oh yeah, so I've spoken to the neurologist and they don't think that you need to be seen. Now I don't know about you guys, but like if you suddenly developed a stutter overnight with no history of stuttering, I would be a bit more concerned, because the thing is, they didn't say, oh yeah, we can do more tests or anything like that. They were like, nah, neurologist said no. And so I wasn't happy with that because and this happened within the span of a week, and this is how scary FND can be. Over a week, I started having tics, and like my head started ticking and jerking and spasming around. So did my arms, and I made the tough decision. I know it feels like a horror movie, but I made the tough decision to withdraw from my course. My mum very kindly drove the 5 hours up to come and get me. And this was, I think we were about 3 days in. So it was a 3-day decision basically. And when I got down back to my mum's, we made a doctor's appointment. So I had to see a nurse practitioner, and they're like, yeah, that's not right. And then my doctor came in and she was like, yeah, something's definitely not right. Go to the hospital. And it was during this whole week that it's quite horrifying, and I never hope it gets this bad again. And this is over a span of 7 days. I was not able to walk unassisted. I couldn't eat unassisted either. I needed help eating because the spasms in my legs and my arms and my head and my hands and the stutter as well. It was so bad. I needed help getting dressed. Now it wasn't a fun time. Yeah, it wasn't a fun time, but thankfully I got my diagnosis very quickly because I went to the hospital, and this was within it's okay. This was within a span of 3 days. That we went to hospital, we saw the neurologist, and I got the diagnosis. Normally, it would have taken a lot longer, but the neurologist happened to be in at that time just by pure coincidence, so they managed to see me. And they did, they did MRI, they did MRI scans and everything like that, CT scans. They saw nothing in my brain, but yeah, it can be a very serious thing. Thankfully, I didn't have the seizures with it. I am very grateful to my support network, including my mum, who was able to basically drop everything and help me move back and take me to the thank you for the hearts. Take me to the doctors and to the staff back at my home, back where I live with my mum, who took it in all seriousness and everything like that. It is to say, yeah, I'm okay now. However, I still do have we call them flare-ups. I don't know what you're supposed to call them. And you know what, my neurologist was great. He said that, the important thing is that you're not making it up. He said a lot of people when they first get diagnosed with FND get told that it's all in their head and that you're not and that you're making it up. My neurologist was very good. He said unfortunately there's not a lot of information around, but he gave me um a couple websites in a brochure basically, because that's kind of all you can do. But as I said, now I do still have FND, and yeah, so that this is why the charity is so important. Raising money and for to raise awareness for FND is important to me because I personally have it. I've personally and still do personally experience the issues behind FND.